Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever felt like your spiritual practice is just more about doing than it is about being? Like you're always hustling, always striving for some far-off state of enlightenment? Well, believe it or not, a 2,500-year-old text has a really surprising take on that whole idea. And honestly, it might just flip how you see your own journey. Let's dive in. So the Buddha posed this question to his followers that feels, wow, even more relevant today in our world of social media and personal brands, right? We call ourselves things, yogis, meditators, seekers, but are those labels actually describing who we are, or are they just describing who we're trying to be? Okay, so our source for this is an ancient text, the Cūḷaassapurasutta. And in it, the Buddha basically turns to his monks and says, look, everyone out there calls you a Samana, a spiritual seeker. Hey, you even call yourselves that, but are you really it? Or is it just a title you're wearing? Now, for centuries, Samana has been translated as the striver, one who makes an effort. And that single translation has totally shaped how many of us view the spiritual path, as this constant grind, this endless effort to achieve something. But what if that's a huge misunderstanding? This is where things get really interesting. We get to put on our ancient linguist glasses for a minute. See, to really get what the Buddha was saying, we can't just stick with the common translation. We've got to go right to the root of the word, in the language he actually spoke. And here it is, the big reveal. The word samana comes from the Pali root sam, and sam has absolutely nothing to do with striving. It means to be calm, to be tranquil. So a way more accurate translation isn't the striver at all. It's the becalmed one. How about that? I mean, this changes everything, right? It totally reframes the entire spiritual path. It shifts it from being about what you do to who you are. So the question becomes, are you on a journey to get somewhere, or are you learning how to just be somewhere in a state of real inner peace? And, if the whole point is to be calmed, then it's definitely not about putting on a show. The Buddha was crystal clear on this. True spirituality is not a performance. It's not an aesthetic. He actually lists all these things that in his day made somebody look spiritual. The special robes, the intense fasting, the chanting. It's really the ancient equivalent of having the trendiest yoga pants and the right mala beads. And he says, look, none of this on its own makes you a becalmed one. He is pretty much saying you can have the entire spiritual look down pat, but if you don't have that inner peace, you've completely missed the point. It's like a 2,500-year-old takedown of spiritual consumerism. Pretty amazing. So what's actually getting in the way? Well, the Buddha points to what he calls these inner stains. And as you can see here, we're talking about the big stuff: greed, anger, envy. He says if this is what's going on inside you, it just doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. The real work is right here. So, okay, if it's not about the special clothes or these extreme practices, what is the actual path? How do we become truly becalmed? Well, let's take a look. The path he lays out is really all about cause and effect. It's pretty straightforward. You do the inner work to abandon those stains, the greed, the anger, and the natural result of that isn't something you have to force. It's joy, it's tranquility. And from that state of genuine inner peace, you can't help but radiate goodwill out to others. And this right here is what it truly means to be a becalmed one. Your mind becomes like an oasis, and it's not just a peaceful place for you. It becomes a source of relief and refreshment for everyone you meet. You actually become a refuge in a pretty chaotic world. So let's bring this all back home. This ancient teaching is really an invitation for us to completely flip the script on what we think it means to be on a spiritual path, to move from a mindset of striving to a state of just being. And that leaves us with a really powerful question to carry with us. In all the parts of your life, are you busy building an image, or are you focused on cultivating calm? Are you striving, or are you arriving? According to the Buddha, the answer to that question, well, that's the true mark of a spiritual life.